There is one way to know whether you will run out of money in retirement. It is not the number you have been watching for 30 years. Some retirees most frightened about it may already be fine. Some are genuinely short on retirement income and have no idea. Some people will never find out which one they are. Nobody sends you a letter telling you that you can stop worrying. There is no bank statement for that. And no one calls either way. It is one number and you could run it yourself in 10 minutes once you know what to look for. So, which type of retiree are you, and how would you know? I am Warren, not an advisor, and nothing here is a pitch. I go through the research on this and bring back the part that changes a decision. If you are somewhere between 55 and 75, whether you retired last year or you're still counting down, this one is for you. Here is exactly what I'm going to show you. First, why your balance cannot answer that question, no matter how big it gets. Second, the real number in one sentence you could write on a napkin. And third, the trap hidden inside that number, the one that quietly costs careful people some of the best years they had left. That third one is the reason I made this video. Stay for it. So why does the balance keep failing you? The balance is easy. It is one number. It updates itself. It goes up when the market is kind and down when it is not. Every app puts it on the front screen. Of course, you watch it. But watch what happens when you ask it a real question. Can I stop working in March? Silence. Can we take the trip while we are still up for it? Nothing. A balance is a quantity of money with no instructions attached. It does not know what your life costs. It does not know what already lands in your account every month, whether you get out of bed or not. A number with no context cannot answer a question about your future. So here is the rule that replaced the balance for me. I want to say it plainly before I show you the picture. Whether your retirement works is not decided by how much you have. It is decided by whether what comes in covers what goes out. Now, the picture. Think of your retirement savings as a lake. Still water, sitting there, impressive to look at. A big lake feels like safety, and it photographs beautifully on a statement. But your retirement does not run on the lake. It runs on a stream. That stream is your retirement income, flowing in every month. Social Security, a pension if you have one. Anything else that arrives, whether you work or not, and flowing the other way is what your life actually costs. If the stream covers the life going out, the lake barely moves. You're living on the flow, and the water sits there as backup. If the stream falls short, you reach into the lake every month to cover the difference, and the level starts to drop, which is why two people with the very same lake can be living completely different lives. Here's the number itself, in one sentence. Take what your life costs. Subtract the income you can count on, the money that arrives every month no matter what. Whatever is left over is the number. Use months or use years, just do not mix the two. Let me say that a different way, because this is the part worth getting right. That number is not what you have. It is not what you earn. It is the space between what your life costs and what your reliable income already covers. That space is your gap. Let me put numbers on it, and these are only an example, not a prediction. Say the income you can count on comes to $3,200 a month. That is right about what the Social Security Administration reports the average retired couple collects. And say the life you actually live costs $4,000 a month. Your gap is $800 a month. Over a year, $9,600. That is what your savings have to cover every year for as long as you live. And if your income already covers everything, your gap is zero. Every dollar you saved is a cushion instead of a countdown. That is a wonderful place to be. And you do not find out you are standing in it until you run the number. Now, the professionals have fancier versions of this, with present values and assumptions about future returns. We are keeping it simple on purpose, because the simple version is the one you will actually sit down and do. But before we go further, there's one more thing about your gap worth knowing. One thing moves it more than the market does, more than your returns do, more than almost anything you could do with your savings. And it is not what most people would guess. Back to those two people, because they are how you see it. Picture two retirees, I will call them Ellen and Ray. Same age, same savings, the same lake. Ellen's house is paid off. Her Social Security and a small pension cover nearly everything a normal month costs her. Her gap is small. Her savings sit there, mostly untouched. Ray is carrying a mortgage and a car payment. His income covers about half of what his month costs. Same savings on paper. But every month he reaches into the lake for the difference, and part of him can feel the level dropping. Same balance. Opposite retirements. So what moved the gap? Not the market, not their returns. Not even how careful they were. What their life costs. Ellen is not richer than Ray. Her life is simply cheaper to run. That is the lever, and it is the one almost nobody is looking at. If you're wondering why one number gets this much of my attention, here it is. Everything I found when I started was either selling me something or trying to scare me. Neither one gave me a number I could check for myself. So I went to the research instead and kept only what held up. That is the whole channel. If that is useful to you, subscribe and stick around. Now back to the question I opened with. Which type of retiree are you? This is where the number answers it, because it runs in both directions. It does not only tell you whether you are short, it tells you when you are allowed to stop worrying. The Employee Benefit Research Institute followed real retirees for more than 20 years. Roughly 4 in 10 still held at least 80% of everything they started with. Their gap was small the whole time. Most of them never knew it, because nobody ever handed them the number. Which brings me to the third thing I promised you, and it is the one almost nobody warns you about. Once you can see your gap, you can close it, and closing it feels productive. So people keep closing it. Past zero. Past comfortable. Here's where it turns. Your gap does not only tell you how much you need, it quietly sets your retirement date. Every time you decide the gap should be a little smaller, you have moved that date. Another year, then another one after that, and a gap that is already covered does not get more covered. Past that point, you're not buying security anymore. You're buying a bigger number on a screen, and the currency you are paying in is years. So when you run your own number, do not only ask whether you are short, ask whether you are done. Those are two different questions, and only one of them has a date attached to it, which means the only thing left is to actually run it. And you do not need an advisor or a spreadsheet. I made a one-page retirement gap worksheet. It walks you through the income you can count on, then what your life honestly costs, then the space between them. And it finishes by having you check one of 3 boxes: covered, close, or short. About 10 minutes with a pen. The link is in the description. So here is my honest question for you, and you may not love your own answer at first. Do you know whether your income covers your life? Not roughly, not a feeling. The number. Run the number, then tell me in the comments which box you checked. Covered, close, or short. And if you have not run it yet, say that too. Not knowing is an honest answer, and it is the reason I made this video. One more thing before you go. Most retirement mistakes you can quietly fix later. There is one you almost never get back, and it usually happens in a single afternoon. That is the next video. The one retirement mistake. Hardest to undo. If you are anywhere near retiring, watch that one before you sign anything. Subscribe to Retire with Warren for retirement facts, not fear. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.